This is not looking good for Hard Find, ADN, and Stire6 here, who have 190 damage below the surge with their eliminations. They're looking for drop downs. They're looking for angles. They're looking for any connection they can get on an opponent for that damage. Now only 100 damage left, but there's also only 4 players that have to be eliminated for Storm Surge to stop ticking. But now the whole trio's cracked. They have to decide if they're going to pop minis here and tank it, or they're going to go for more damage.
You got to think there's only 2 players above or below the Storm Surge, and that's going to be them, unfortunately. So they're the only ones being pressured. So they have to wait for another team to be fully picked up, and they're not being pressured, but they drop the player down. It's Diablo, and they managed to pick up the other player in the box at the same time. So that's 2 huge eliminations, which are going to add up big time when it comes to leaderboards. But they're stuck in a difficult situation, getting pumped in the back as they try to rotate through, and they're being shot from Zico's team up on the high ground.
Oh, Zico's team controlling that high ground like no other. But also take a look at the mid ground, Reese. We have Cami, Seti, and Teak. They're still alive. They're still hungry. They still have that confidence coming from FNCS, but also Benji, Fishy, and Dread and Mr. Savage, who are the champions of Steamy in this game 1. They're looking to take home not only the early game, but also the late game.
Yeah, already with these points, they've gone over 70. But hold on, Benchfishy gets into the box, and Dread goes down to the player down behind him. Now he managed to trade shots with the other player who's back, but he gets chunked big, and he's now going to be picked up. Mr. Savage now left as a solo down on that mid-ground layer, as still Zico's team is holding the height. 4ZR's team alongside Andlex XQ still in this as a full trio as well. Now, what's Mr. Savage going to do? He's got the gold pump in his inventory. He's got the chug splashes the back of the zone. The zone pulls back, so we can actually make a med kit play here. Oh, he's
but be careful. A whole trio getting into Mr. Savage's box. They're denying the medkit play. Zico's trio still on the high ground, uncontested here, though. Meanwhile, we have 4ZR and his trio getting into engagement. We have Seti and Alex. There's so many duos and solos alive in this match, Reese.
There are indeed up on height. The full trio is still applying the shots down to the whole lobby. Seti's team still in this as a full trio as well. We see XWeeze go down. So Andlex now a solo. Juku also as a solo alongside Hut and Rax as a duo. So right now, this is definitely going to go down to Cami, Seti, Teak versus Zico's team, unless 4ZR can maybe turn things up at this moment, trying to get some sort of engagement working on out and trying to pick up one of the full trios, right? They have to do something.
I mean, I can't even tell you who's going to end up winning this match. If Zico and his trio have a lot of heals, they have a big chance of winning it from the high ground. But there's so much engagement, so much action in this mid ground, in this low ground. I believe Seti and Teak are still alive as well. 4ZR goes down, and Alex goes down. Now we have Rax and his trio alive with a good amount of eliminations. They're going to be battling this high ground team, Reese. Who is going to be able to come out on top?
Gotta see. Rax goes down. At least Hutty is a solo. Mini down at the same time, so he's down on the bomb. Zico claiming that full high ground position, but Cami, Seti, and Teak are still left in this too. Who's it going to go down to? Who's going to get the first? Who is going to get the third? You've got to think that Zico's team will be able to pick it up. That zone's now fully closed. SD goes down to the zone. Zico has so much heal-off potential up on high ground, and yeah, Zico, Slovey, and SD are going to pick up the victory royale in game number 1. Doing something huge here, because they've got roughly 0 seconds before this is going to start kicking in and damaging them.
That's why they're looking for it. They're trying to connect any shot they can. Hits one with the legendary pump shotgun, but it's not enough. It only does 12 damage. Nate has to get a big shot off here, but I think his best bet is just to wait. One player has to get eliminated, and Storm Surge will stop. Let's hope he's not that last player, but take a look at high ground. From low ground in the first moving to now the high ground. Cami, Seti, and Tiki. You don't see this often. It looks like they're going to want to be playing the high ground.
Yeah, on that first day of the FNCS finals, they didn't take height or hold height a single game and were able to be up on top. On day number 2, they did it once. Right now, they're trying to show the true versatility of their playstyle, being able to understand when it's right to take height and when it's right not to. And right now, this seems absolutely like the right time to take height. But hold on, the whole thing is being chopped out. They are not secure enough, but they've luckily managed to get back up and hold it again.
I believe that was actually Cami, which knocked down the build, so it got me a little scared for a moment. Almost risked his teammates to get that last elimination on the player that was contesting high ground. But you can see in the feed, Thomas HD getting eliminations here. Eclipse getting eliminations on Zico, who were our champions of the last match. And right now, already on the 8th zone, it looks like Cami, Seti, and Teak are looking to hold this high ground for the rest of the match.
That they are. They got the floppers to play the heal off if they need to. They have tons of ammo to spray down. That's Exterios as well. Remember, one of the players who was really in a power position in this earlier zones. Right down on the low ground, we still see Queasy, Thomas, and Anas in this as a full trio. 4ZR and Lex has lost X-Squeeze, unfortunately. They got 5 eliminations to their name, so big points from them coming down, but they are in a real rough spot in the zone. So much congestion, so much old builds that they need to work their way through, and they own almost none of it on this layer so far, but good job from them managing to work their way around. But there's a player on the other side of the wall. They're taking it. Oh, they're still going down. They tried to drop. This is where it's dangerous. This is where things get risky, when you're straight down in the bottom of the water.
Oh, but they find a good layer here. Andalex and 4ZR go up one layer, and it looks like they're alone on this layer, although they do have trios or duos below and above them, so they have to be careful. Also, only 5 trios left, 12 players. Anas, Queasy, and Thomas HD are a full trio on low ground. Cami Steady Peak, full trio on high ground. And then we've got some players on the mid ground battling it out. I believe Cami or Steady also have 4 floppers, so they're going to be playing this heal off.
Yeah, with 9 eliminations to high ground. These guys are on cloud 9 right now. They're starting to climb all the way up, trying to beast the rest of the lobby. That's a 10 feed. I'm going to... is that True Legs there? But they're not going to get confirmed that with the points, unfortunately. But Teak drops down and gets chunked big time down to 3 HP. Another team may start to go for high ground. They need some white heals. We know they have the floppers in the inventory, and it'll be too much just to risk playing the heal off. But here we go. Another connection from Say at that moment, picking up one more. Cammy's all the way up, Seek all the way down, and it's a 2v2 situation. And Nas and Thomas HD down on the low. Are they going to try to connect the shots? Are they going to do something? Teak only has no HP to his name, so he should probably knock himself to storm. We see a Nas go into the back. He's going to intentionally knock himself to the zone here. Queasy now as a solo. We know see Teak go down too. It's Cami versus Queasy at this moment. It's going to be the heal off versus the heal off. Cami up on high ground, we know, has so many floppers, but the shots connect from Cami, so this could be the elimination point coming through. Queasy's HP starting to drop slowly after and slowly, and it's over. Cami's going to win the heal off, but look at the inventory that he had. Still 2 floppers and 11 chug splashes.
Going down, that's the whole trio eliminated. Hen securing that elimination, but Hen is not looking healthy. He has no shields to work with, about 30 health, and playing as a solo. Meanwhile, Vidil is continuing to rotate, but be careful as a trio is trying to get that elimination. Vidil going down 113 points.
That's 89 points he's managed to secure as a solo, basically. Obviously, a couple of eliminations coming from his team, so huge performance from him. Mark's team still up on the height at the same time. Down below, Hen now still as a solo up on 126. He's been fully coned, and he's been fully picked up at the same time as well. Kezik's down in the feet. Same Gustin, Vovi. The players dropping all the way down to low. This is a chaotic hill zone with so much elevation change, and so many players are going down. Hutty down at this moment. Esty still is a solo, our second place team, still gaining tons of points, but unfortunately losing his teammates, so every single threshold's gonna count at this moment. Let's see what he can do. 3 builds and it starts to pull up. This ain't looking good.
SD with 3 builds, just like you were saying here, but 244 points. They've managed to secure quite a good amount of placement, seeing that they have played this whole end game as a duo. Now SP finishing it off as a solo, but be careful. You're not going to be able to pop that med kit if you get pushed by an opponent. So now ST trying to move up a little bit, trying to secure the mega play. It looks like he's going to be able to do it if nobody takes shots. Meanwhile, Shaggy on the high ground. We still have a lot of trios battling it out on the mid ground. It's pulling up a hill though, Reiss.
Building up a hill so we can do Thomas HD connecting the shots here. He's lost an ass, but still got Queasy by his side. He's trying to jump around, hit the towers he can. He's got the harpoon. They're looking to get aggressive with this. Managed to get down on the low ground, trying to claim the spots. He's picked up SD there, and yes, they've claimed full low. They might be able to hit some shots. The harpoon only getting the siphon metal. Let's see what they can do out of this. The pool max distance for him so far, and he's using those minimal materials he can, but will he connect? Oh, he's tagged up a bunch. Queasy picking up elims in the back of the zone. Thomas getting the finish here onto Melody's team, and this is starting to look like a good game for them.
This is looking like a great game for them. 215 points secured already. 3 eliminations for Thomas HD. Playing it as a duo with Queasy. Shaggy, Fraction still have the high ground here, looking to apply pressure on the teams that are below. Merstash going in from the back, but Thomas HD annihilating him. But be careful, another player comes in, looks for an angle, takes down Thomas, taking shots on Queasy. Queasy now left with less than 30 HP. It's a 1 versus 2. Trying to harpoon the high ground. Will he be able to get one? Gets one, but it is not enough as Shaggy finishes it off. They have claimed it, and they're looking for some refreshes. They're looking for anything they can get here as Andretta does not have any shields. Benji Fishy, you see he's dropping minis for Andretta, trying to heal up there as Mr. Savage targets the zone, looks for any possible angle, maybe even a box onto an opponent, but be careful. You've got a lot of trios spraying. Now Mr. Savage only has wood. He does not have any hard materials, no brick, no metal. So it's a very risky place to be in. They have to get a refresh here, Reese.
Yeah, Benji goes down. He's fully finished at this. Oh, no, he's not. I was about to say, his HP was so low. I just thought he was out of this at the moment. They still have cabbages off behind. They've got the full finish. Oh, Mr. Savage jumps in the box, and the AR tracking comes on through. He picks up Mirza now. Benji Dow does go down fully. So does the Dre at the same time. Savage is all of it. He's popping off. He's wiped a full trio almost at this moment and is looking for more.
2 eliminations for Mr. Savage, but there was one player left that took him down, almost getting that clutch. But take a look at the high ground. We have Thomas HD, Anas, and their trio with the high ground. Looks like it's secured. Also, Crow getting some eliminations. Meanwhile, on the screen, we have Zako, SD, and Slovy, who are still alive as a trio. But right as I say that, Zako gets knocked down, leaving his team as a duo. Anas, Thomas, and Queasy want this game. They have the high ground.
They got the commanding position. They're going to start spraying down below, but still on those layers that are lower. Slovy and Esty still in the red, trying to do what they can to try and get the shot. The wall comes through. An easy elimination comes through for Slovy here onto Rax. He's now going to try and pick up those materials to cut through. He's managed to get that harpoon play too. They've got a great refresh that's going to keep them up ahead. They're going to figure out what they can do going into the back of the storm, and for them, this is absolutely critical. Remember, these guys are probably close to first, if not 100% in first now.
307 points with Hen and his trio being almost knocked down. I mean, at the early game, losing a lot of points. This could be their chance to make the comeback and take that #1 spot. But the Sithos Clement, they're still alive. You see on the low ground, you have Teak and Cammy still alive. And meanwhile, on the high ground, Thomas, Anas, and Queasy are just laying down rain from above, going for those eliminations because we know how important they are with this format. But Thomas, look at your materials, trying to build, falls down, getting eliminated to fall damage.
That's a tragic way to lose this. If Anas and Queasy have a harpoon up on top, that's even worse because they do as well. Anas has one. He could have managed to save him and picked him up, or just drop down with the materials and seen what they can do. Now leaving this as a duo. That could be a large choke, but regardless, them sitting on height when the zone starts to pull back, they're going to be in a great position to try and win this one out. Clement and Decepto still also in this. Remember, as a duo, Cammy, Teak in a duo too. This is a game of duos. Same with the Slovy and Esty. I'm not sure if we're actually watching a trios event right now, but with the white heels, hold on, Esty gets picked up right now leaving Slovy as a solo. He's going to start to play those heals in the back of the zone. He's trying to take any single placement point that he can out of this. He's got one flopper left. He has to start using it properly.
He's going to look for an angle, trying to decide which is the best entrance into the zone. Decides to go up the layer, tries to find any angle, hits a 108 shotgun shot, but it's not enough for the knockdown, getting eliminated in 4th place. Now Anas on the high ground is going to try and play the heal off. Meanwhile, we have the low ground battle. Teak getting into the box, Teak getting knocked down. Cammy finds an elimination, but Teak goes down. Now it's Cammy against Queasy and Anas. A 1 versus 2. Will Cammy be able to clutch this up? But he's unable to, as Anas, Thomas HD, and Queasy close out this match. Now a lot of powerful trios alive in this end game. We're on game 5 out of 6. Only 2 matches left. This match and 1 more to get that final leaderboard. Who is going to be able to take that #1 spot? Queasy, Anas, and Thomas HD with 343 points, making the rotate shortly behind them. We have Andretta, Benji Fishy, and Mr. Savage getting the rotate done as well, as Janice at the bottom left of your screen is kind of getting held in zone in an engagement against other trios. But I don't see a high ground yet, Reese. Someone has still yet to take it.
Yeah, that first move, we see Kezek, Snazy, and Nate now starting to crank for it after losing a ton of the HP from obviously over-peaking 900 times during the game so far. But SD down on the low, trying to drop all the way down. But this is where things are getting a little rough. They're going underneath this base. But what can happen is they have to start climbing up now. They have to claim ahead in the zone, because if they don't, now other teams are going to start to block them as this elevation starts to climb up. They're going for the spray down to the player up above. The floor is taken. No success from that. But another player comes down here, and no beating around the bush for them. They've dropped the player straight in, and they're picking up the Elans.
They get the Elans, they get the refresh, but now the zone keeps pulling far across the bridge, and they have to get something done here. But no, look, it pulls back right as it closes. They can stay at that bridge for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, I believe Nate's trios on the high ground. You can see NS Thomas HD are playing it as a duo here. Queasy has been eliminated, but they're looking very healthy. They have good materials, good shield, good weapons, and even good mobility, but they are gonna play it as a duo. Meanwhile, Kezix, ST, and Slove here, they're all battling out the high ground. Kezix is gonna give it up. Now Zako, Slove, and ST have the high ground and have a huge amount of points. This could be massive for them, Reiss, if they're able to close out this game.
This could be huge, and indeed they managed to maintain that height all up above. As we see, let's figure out exactly what ends up happening with them in a second. But them claiming that high ground could be absolutely massive with them. There we go, we're back on it with them being the first place team so far. Remember, these guys are currently in first, and if they manage to pick up the victory royale in this game, this could be absolutely game stopping for any other team. It's going to go down to the wire.
Ooh, already have a good amount of eliminations, already have a great position. This could be their match. This could be their tournament if they close out this game on the high ground. Not only that, they have 13 cabbages and chug splashes to play the heal off, taking down Teak as well. That might leave Cammy and Steady as a duo if they're both still alive. Gonna recuperate their materials, picking that up now. 11 trios alive. That's 23 players. You can see all the chaos that is going on below, Reiss.
Yeah, these guys know the ropes, how to play high ground, and they're playing it absolutely perfection right now. As we see down the low ground, so many teams still up in this too. I would be very surprised if I don't see ST's team picking up the victory royale with the amount of white heals they have. Given the zone keeps pulling back and forth, we're going to see so many players still left up in this. But on the low ground, Savage team goes down, and Nas now left as a solo. He connects the 116, but it's the full trio that's going to pick him up on the low.
Anas goes down there, getting eliminated, but he does get a knockdown alongside it now as these trios trying to get ahead of the zone. There's so many players in the mid, in the low ground, and meanwhile, ST and his trio just laying down rain from above, applying pressure, taking those shots, trying to secure a little bit of extra eliminations. It is 6 points per elimination, so if they're able to get some extra elims alongside the victory royale, that could be huge. But look at Zico, he goes down. He played a little bit too risky and got knocked down, Reiss, but also now with Slove gets knocked down. This could be very bad for ST and his trio. He might just have to give up his teammate here and grab the heals and play it, but they're getting contested on the high ground. You have trios flying up, trying to secure the position. They get eliminated. Now Monaco and his trio have the high ground, and they're looking to close it off.
Yeah, Mini's team fully down on the low ground, looking to do something, but the whole trio drops in the box, knocks the socks off of Mini. He's going to connect some shots at the same time. He's going to be picked up. Rax now is the solo. He's got the most eliminations, but he's also picked up down here too. It's a 3v2 situation. Fractions and Rifty again, 0 points in the first two games. Game 3 victory royale, now in it to win it, and Rifty is now going to go back, potentially dropped off Kefi down to the surge up above, but Monaco now has the heals in the inventory. The cabbages yet again can be clutched, but the launch pad play is huge, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't go down to the wire. Monaco right now going to pick up.
Only thing that's a little scary here is that they are on the low ground. They have to be careful when placing that launch pad so they don't get blocked off, or maybe if they try and do a riskier play of recycling a launch pad, they could get blocked off. So I hope they use their own launch pad here. They don't try and risk anything because they really don't need a lot of points, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Use their launch pad on the safe side of zone, rotate in here, and now our last end game is gonna begin. Reiss, there's trios on high, mid, low. There's a lot of action. You can see Thomas HD and Anas. They're going in from the backside of zone, trying to scavenge any tarp that they can find here and look for a refresh to put them back into this game.
Yeah, it is there. Just honestly running on fumes right now with 6 bills, doing a good job chopping all the way through at the backside of the zone. Cammy, Steady, Teak hitting the pad at the same time. Michael's team and Astro still up in this too. You see their top right, Cammy, Steady, Teak still there, bottom right, and Nas. They're looking to get shots. They're in to get the cone replaced, but no, nothing's going to connect. Trying to chop through as many builds as they can. Again, the harpoons come out, the double harpoons, but the shot comes to the back of the zone, but that's only going to be siphon materials for them. That's not going to be enough. They're going to need to do the same thing again, and Nas at the back of the zone with that charged shotgun out is going to hopefully have to connect with something, but next zone pulls south again, so they are not getting a break.
They're going to keep on rotating here, keep looking for those eliminations. But meanwhile, at the top right, we have Kenny Steady Peak looking like they want high ground. But Anas gets an elimination there, gets 2. They're not done yet. They're going to keep running it through. But meanwhile, Cammy Steady Peak, they want the high ground, Reiss. They want to win this game. They know they need the victory royale to end up in that #1 spot. And they're battling it out right now. If they can take this high ground and secure the victory royale, they might just be able to pass the #1 team. But Anas left alone as a solo. He has 4 eliminations. Reiss is going to be able to keep that momentum going.
have to see he's on 408 points. He has 20-point lead on the Teak right now, so he has to get deeper into zone or make sure he gets more eliminations at that point. Cammy say Teak still has 0. They're spraying down the high ground. They managed to hit the weight tags of the player up above. We're going to start the climb, to start the aggression, but Anas goes down to the bottom right after picking up a big chunk right now. Seti in the elimination feed picks up Vino, so this should be hype for them. This could be the victory royale in the final game of the Cash Cup Extra.
Cammy, Steady, Teak now at 400 points with the high ground.
Slove's down.
Benji takes down Slove. That's one of the players from our #1 trio getting fully eliminated by Benji Fishy's trio. Will Cammy, Steady, Teak be able to secure the victory royale, and will it be enough points to pass our previous #1 trio who got into this game in the #1 spot? Looks like they want to take the high ground. There's 5 trios left. Zako finds an elimination, though. There's only 12 players alive, Reese. These are coming down to the last moment.
Come down the last moment. This is going to pull up over this crash ship, which means that Kamisei and Teak are not going to have any sight lines down below if it keeps going that way. If it pulls to the west, where's that next zone pulling? No, it's going to go more to the north. They're spraying. They're picking up Elims. That's Stay picking up Andrea. Cammy picks up Benji Fishy. It's a 3v1 situation. The shots connect right now. This could be a winning victory, and its Farius goes down. So Kamisei and Teak are going to pick up the final victory royale of the game. Zico, Esti, and Slove. No surprise at all with 492 points. That is absolutely incredible. We were looking at Kamisei Teak and thinking, can they clutch it up? I had my